Well, it's the YouTube changes and all that that brings, and of course an update on what's happening with, I'm not sure. Hi guys, Liz here, aka Isabel Sharon, Liz for Paris Adored, Bondi Babe, and all my bots, including Isabella, the little child, which is me, actually. You know, Isabella, Isabel, you get it? It's the little mini me. Hello, welcome. Welcome to my demonetized channel. Demonetized! Actually, do you know what? I actually don't care. I woke up on the 20th. I'm like, right. And I didn't see it straight away. And then I thought, oh, okay, it's not been done yet. But it did eventually come into effect. And when I looked at my YouTube, I think it was the following day, actually, when was it the following day? I don't think I noticed it on the 20th. Anyhow, I looked on my app, and there on my phone I saw blue circles. I haven't seen blue circles for years. I was just like, oh, okay. But to be fair, I mean, all I am is demonetized. I still can link to my website, and I still have those privileges. I'm actually still, I still have all the rights that I had apart from the monetization that I had under the partnership program. So I'm like, okay, so I haven't lost, because I was really worried I'd lose the, you know, some of the length of time of videos and stuff like that, because that really worried me. And guess what, guys? Guess what? You're stuck with 40-minute videos. Oh, I did feel better. No, you won't be stuck with 40-minute videos. I am going to try and actually cut them down a bit, because not everyone wants to listen for that length of time. However, though, because it is only a one day a week that I do such a long video, I don't think it really matters, does it? I mean, you can either choose to watch it or you can choose not to. You can either choose to go to sleep or you can choose to stay awake. It's all up to you. It's your choice, not mine. My channel, though, I can talk as much as I like. And because I'm not monetized, it kind of like gives me I've realized it gives me a little bit more freedom. Because now I don't actually have to worry as much as I have done before about the content that could be demonetized. Not that I'm going to go crazy, but I've always been conscious about content and what you put in it as to be, you know, palatable for YouTube advertising. But there you go. Anyhow, the only adverts I would like people to sort of let me know if they see adverts on my videos, because this is something I'm going to keep an eye on, because I'm telling you now, YouTube, if you stick adverts on my videos, there will be hell to pay. Yes, there will, because you shouldn't be sticking adverts on any of my videos. The only adverts that will go on any videos should be my earlier videos where I used copyright music. However, because I'm so annoying like that, I'm actually going to remove those videos. So all my earlier videos, I'm going to rip them down, because I just think it's wrong when we do a lot of hard work on something and someone else is reaping it. So I am actually going to probably take them off the channel. And plus, I have so much content. I've got well over 500 or so. Let me just check. I'm going to click around and check exactly how many videos I've got. It's really funny when you lose track of about how many videos you actually do have. And I have lost track of how many videos I actually do have. It doesn't bloody tell me there. I'm clicking around on my own channel, and I don't want to play my Coffee with Isa. I'm sure it's there. Where is it? I don't even know how many videos I've got. Well, anyhow, it's well over 500. Yeah, well over 500 videos. So I am actually going to remove some of the really old ones that were rubbish and that were using music from, you know, popular artists, because why should I? you know, and there will be videos on here that you'll go, oh, but that's advertised. I mean, some videos will be, but actually if you look in the description of them, you'll probably see that they're actually my own tracks, because yeah, I do actually have music out on iTunes. I'm not that great, but I like to think of myself as the mature Vici. And I've been doing it since 2012. I haven't done any for the last year but I'm thinking I'm going to start doing it again. So yeah, so the only advertising you will see will be against my own music tracks, which I'm happy for them to monetize, because I will get the income from that through iTunes, etc. So that's fine. That's fine. Through the people that I go through 3 distribution companies. So they collect the revenue, and they're very good at doing that. It's so funny because I get copyright claims against some of my videos, and I like go and look and I go, oh, that's myself. I'm claiming copyright. It just makes me tickle, because I just think, that's kind of funny. And obviously I don't dispute those, because why would I? I'm certainly not going to dispute them now, because YouTube will be putting advertisements against it, and it's my music, mates. So I will earn the income from that, not you guys. No. I have, since last week, been speaking to a few people. Like I said to you, I do know a few YouTubers, and they have told me to seriously consider my investment in it, which I have been. You know, because it started off as a hobby, but then it became quite, something that I really enjoy doing, and that I want to continue to do. And like I said before, you know, there's that part of me that will probably transition at some stage, whether it's on this channel or another channel, will transition into just being the real life me, Liz. I am most of the time in the real life me, Liz. Whatever I talk about is me and whatever. But there will come a time that I'll just myself sit in front of the camera instead of using an avatar. But I don't know if I'm ready to do that just yet. It's kind of daunting. I do it, like I said before, I do it when I'm having a rant. I'll just like because I realise one thing, that when you have a rant, you can't have a rant as a cartoon character, because it just doesn't work. So you have to be a real person, or a real person as to how people perceive you, because a lot of people that aren't in virtual worlds look at these gaming type channels and they don't get it. Or they think we're a bunch of geeks or a bunch of fat people that sit there and don't work and do anything all day long, which is contraire. Oh no, I don't doubt that there are people like that. There certainly are people like that in virtual worlds. You know, I'm not going to say that there aren't, because there certainly are. I've seen them myself. But you know, on the whole majority of it, there are just like normal people. And everybody's normal as far as I'm concerned, but people that are working, you know, I just hate that reference, that people that are gamers and stuff are losers and stuff. Really hate that, because I'm certainly not a loser. A lot of people I know are not losers, and so and I just think that when they watch videos with virtual characters, sometimes they're not really getting it sometimes. Yeah. So anyhow, I'm just rambling on about that, but can I just say I'm so chuffed. I've got everything that I gained from the partnership program. I've not lost one thing apart from monetization. Not one thing has been lost. So I'm actually quite upbeat about it. I'm like, okay, cool. And I've listened to advice from like I said, I know a few YouTubers, and I've listened to their advice, and I'm going to take it. So I'm going to expand in where platforms I use. I already go on another platform. I've been a bit remiss in putting stuff on there, but I'm going to expand on where I go, and not necessarily as an avatar. So yeah, it's interesting times, and I think the reality is that because I'm not monetized, like I said, I have a bit more freedom about what content I do. I also am not bound to when people ask me to do things to feel beholden that I should do them. It's one of my flaws. I think it's a flaw of mine that I never say no. and I get myself in situations, and you know what, I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes we do have to say no, I'm sorry, I can't do that, because it's just too much. Because, you know, in my mind, my reality always will come first. My reality is number one priority. My real life, my real job, my kids, my friends, they will always come first. And that's the fact. So anything that impinges on that, I have to really say, look, nah, yeah, I'm not getting out of this. So if I'm not getting out of something tangible that I benefit from, then I can't actually turn my back on what reality is. And that's something I've always had that in my head, that, you know. So yeah, I'm actually, you know, I thought I'd be really upset. But when I woke up, I was like, well, bugger that. Well, bugger that. Oh, well. And to be honest, I mean, you know, someone left a notice on my YouTube channel and said, oh, you know, if you want your money, you need to shut your AdSense account and all that. Well, actually, no, I don't, because my website's linked to my AdSense. I've got other things linked to my AdSense, so why would I do that? I'm like, nah. And frankly, there is only $8.63 in there, and it still shows on my YouTube channel that $8.63. So I'm just going to be staring at that for however long, for time immemorial. Like I said, I never used to make a lot of money. I've withdrawn. What did I withdraw? I withdrew last month. I withdrew £67. Well, in actual fact, £67 was well over $100. So for me, I was excited. So I was so annoyed when people saying, oh, it's peanuts. Well, you know what? Peanuts to some people are like, you know, a great meal. And so for people like me, it was a great, and it may be peanuts, because now we're doing it for nothing. So peanuts compared to nothing is, you know, think about that. My peanuts were so valuable to me. I really valued my peanuts. Yeah, but honestly, it's so funny. I did my Harriet Parker video, the protest, and some people took it so seriously. It was so funny, and they were like, boo! And they honestly took me seriously, some people. And I went on Reddit, and I was just like, are you kidding me? I think one person sort of made a comment, and I was like, it was a bit of fun. I always said something about it with being a bit too late, and critiquing the video, and I'm like, you do realise this is fun, this is tongue-in-cheek, this is and Harriet Parker, I mean, someone said about her voice being shrill, and I'm like, well, you do realise that Harriet Parker is me. Me putting on a pretend voice, and Harriet Parker isn't real, and if anyone's watching it, and in fact, if you notice Harriet Parker videos, I'm slowly turning them more cartoonish in the way they appear, because she's a caricature. She's just nuts, and I love doing Harriet Parker because I'm so not English. So I'm an Aussie, and I just think, oh, it's just so much fun. But you know, Harriet Parker and I we're like bosom buds. That's all I can say. We're like bosom buds, and we will continue to be so. But it's just funny. People took that protest video so seriously, and really, some people really need to get some humour in their lives. Of course, I protested on the last day, knowing it wouldn't do anything. It was a pretend protest. There was two of us. It was just so funny, and it was because I had those signs, the death row design signs, that they were just, and honestly, I keep using them. They are so funny, absolutely funny. I just think, oh my god, you can just go to town with these protest signs. I think they're genius. So yeah, Harriet's really appeared a couple of times last week, because She's a good girl, isn't she? I mean, she's done a wrestling match with Susie Anderton. She's gone on a protest march, and then she's met a hobo in the street and done a bit of Michael Jackson. Yeah. Oh, some days I really could be her. Oh, hang on a minute, I am. But yeah. So I know it's bizarre. I am just kind of excited. And even though I've got a whole lot of shite going on at the moment in real life with various things, I feel really upbeat, which is bizarre. I know. I thought I might go into a slump and go like, not because of the demonetization, but with the whole process, because sometimes it's quite stressful when people are being mean to you. It isn't nice when you put yourself in a position of you put yourself out there and you do something that a group of you find entertaining, and then other people are just sort of like, so critical, and you just think, oh, why do I do it? But actually it doesn't matter. And what I said to that guy was, oh, well, I didn't aim to be Spielberg, because if I was Spielberg, I wouldn't be putting my stuff on YouTube. Quite simply. But some people need to lighten up and enjoy life a bit, and not be so critical of everything. It's just bizarre. Some people they spend their lives being upset about things. Be less upset. Enjoy it. Have a laugh. Don't take every word down a path of friggin' righteousness and analyze it, and don't critique everything. Actually look at something and go, my God, I can laugh at that. That's just funny. That's so stupid. I can laugh at it. But there are people that go through life that can't seem to laugh, and they can't seem to find their happiness in just being silly. And I do feel sorry for people that can't do that, because our lives are so short. They really are short, and it's becoming more obvious to me how short our lives are when I'm watching people die around me. Yes, I'm on a yearly basis I've lost people, and as you get older, you start to lose more and more people, and you can't go through life with such a negative viewpoint, because with one blink it's gone. One blink and it's gone. Just like my bus the other day that I was waiting for, that went past, that I didn't see go past, that never really went past. Just one blink and it's gone. Yay! Anyhow, what kind of week have I had? Well, apart from the YouTube thing and having fun being Harriet, it's been okay, actually. Work's still work, and it's still a place that myself and many other people would rather not be. But, it's an income, and we need to earn money. So, I attend, because apparently you don't get paid unless you attend. And I put in my 110% and do my things to help people and stuff, and I absolutely love doing that. I love doing that because it makes me feel good. Yeah. Anyhow, I need to tell you something. I don't know if I told you this. I don't think I did tell you this. I can't have told you this. No. The other day did I tell you this? I don't know if I told you this. Did I tell you about the lottery ticket? I don't know if I did tell you this. Well, anyhow, I was walking along the street, and this bloke come running up next to me. I was coming out from work, and I did look really stressed, and he was just like, he started sort of walking in synchronization with me, and I was like, hello. And he was like, you look like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I did. I really did have the weight of the world on my shoulders that day. And I was just a little bit stressed, and I think I did tell you this. Yeah, anyhow, he gave me a lottery ticket. Did I tell you this? Well, I didn't win. To cut a long story short, this stranger came up to me. Actually, he was kind of cute. Came up to me, and because I'm like everybody else in society, you're a bit sort of like skeptical when people come up to you and is, offering you something, because he said, I want to give you this, I want to make you smile. As soon as someone does that, our immediate reaction is to be like, aha. What does he want? And that was my reaction, because generally when people have ever come up to me, they want something. They want a bit of booty or they just want something. And I was just like, I'm not in the mood for this, because I wasn't. I had a banging head that day. And all he did was basically tell me that I looked like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders, and he wanted to see me smile, and he handed me a lottery ticket. And I tried to give it back because I thought, you shouldn't accept things from strangers, Liz. My mum and dad always taught me, well, don't accept things from strangers. But, you know, I do. So I went, oh, okay. And he said, if you don't want to keep it, you can give it to someone else. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I kept walking, and he was just chatting to me, and he asked me my name, and I sort of begrudgingly told him my name, because I still had that sort of that weird feeling that he could be an ex-murderer for all I know, and I could kick myself for feeling that way. I really could. It's hard not to when you. I'm pretty well-meaning, and I'm pretty open, and I don't hide myself. Like a lot of people hide their identities and stuff. I don't actually really do that. I'm quite open, but I'm open, but I'm not stupid. So I am street careful, definitely street careful, and you know, personal safety, that kind of thing. And I could kick myself for that day, because actually what happened was, as we were walking, and I was walking in my pace to get to my bus, and he was talking to me, and he said, oh, I'd give you a lift, but I don't know you. And I was like, you ain't giving me a lift nowhere, mate. And he was walking, and he actually had another lottery ticket in his hand, and he suddenly went, oh, I've got to go and give this to him. And there was a homeless guy sitting in the doorway of a shop. And I see this homeless guy every day. And I turned and watched, and he went up to the homeless guy, and it was so genuine. And he went, mate, I can't handle watching you like this. And he gave him the lottery ticket, but then he got his wallet out and he gave him money. And I kind of like, I feel so bad. I kept walking because I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I didn't know whether I should stop and wait or anything, and I just kept walking. I don't even know if I've told you guys this. I probably have. I'm repeating myself. Honestly, I think I'm getting dementia. I'm kidding. I'm not getting dementia. But anyhow, even if I have told you, you're going to hear it again. But anyhow, but the thing is, I walked to the bus stop, and that what I saw, what he did, has left this thing in me, and it bothers me that I didn't stop. That bothers me, because I just think I'm so caught up in society and how we are conditioned, and when we walk along we don't stop, da da da. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do, because I'm probably more nicer to people than many people I know. I will actually do stuff, but I am still caught up in that society thing where our instant reaction is self-protection, self-preservation, and I carried on, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I had stopped. And I went home, and the next day I told everyone at work about what happened. They said, what was his name? And I said, I don't know. I said, he knows my name, but I don't know his name. And I said, I kind of like wish that I had got his name, especially if I had won the lottery. Because let's be fair, if I had won the lottery, this person would have changed my life, and I would not even know his name. And that really has bothered me since then, because I just thought, that's something I've got to change about myself. That fear factor that society has ingrained in me of you know, I'm starting, you know, I've always been one who's seen life through rose-coloured glasses. I give everyone a chance. But when it comes to physical proximity and stuff like that, I'm very defensive. And I thought to myself, you know what, Liz, you've got something to learn from this. And it's troubled me since then. And I do wish I'd got his name at least, because there was nothing about him, when I think about who he was and what he appeared to be, there was nothing about him really that should have made me feel that way. And I could kick myself for that. The other thing is someone said to me, Liz, have you ever stopped to think that he had someone filming this and he was doing an experiment and you've just failed? And I was like, yep, I'm probably going to be on some documentary and comparing homeless people and different types of people from different walks of life and how ungrateful they are. And I said, I'm going to appear as that person. But the thing is, I wasn't ungrateful. So if he ever is watching this, which is highly unlikely because how's he going to recognise me? But if he ever does, I want to say thank you. And I'm so sorry that I didn't stop, because if I didn't feel so conditioned by fear, I would have stopped. And that's the thing. You're so conditioned these days with everything that's going on in the world. Yeah, I know I'm going to get political now, and I'm not going to get political, but with everything that's going on in the world, you're so conditioned to now be so self-protective, and that's not a world I want to go into. I don't want to be that part of the world. I'm Australian, and you know, one of the things I love about my country, unfortunately I don't live there now, I live in the UK, but one of the things I loved about being Australian is that we are so open. We generally will talk to anybody. We are open. We are not so staid. We don't, you know, I get on the bus and I'm always like, hello, 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 hello. I walk in the street and I walk past people and say, hello, 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 hello. I will do all that. You know, people think I'm a weirdo. But you know, to me, that's quite normal. Australians do that. Many Australians are like that. It's because I guess it's a more laid-back lifestyle. Living here in the UK, it's so so I wouldn't even call it fast-paced. It's just you're paranoid. English people are you paranoid. That's what you are. You're paranoid. And no, I think it's you know, the English have this stiff upper lip and all that kind of thing. I think that's the difference. And you know, I think it takes a lot for an English person to trust and stuff. Which actually, to be honest, when there's so many people, a population, a high density population, and that kind of thing, I can kind of understand that. So I'm not dissing that. I'm just sort of like seeing it from that viewpoint. But yeah, so since that, I've been reflecting since that encounter with the lottery ticket, which, God damn it, I didn't win. I didn't even have one number. I was just like, God's sake. Because you know when you think, wow, this has never happened to me before. This could be my lucky day. And it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I'm still as poor as I was the day before. I still look at all those red letters that come through my door, and I'm like, yeah, nothing's changed. So yeah, oh, what a shame, what a shame. But yeah, it's life, isn't it? You know, we don't always have what we want. Do you know what? I once went to a clairvoyant medium. No, it's not medium. Medium's dead people, isn't it? No, I went to a clairvoyant, and I'll put it back in perspective. When my mum died, I had an ex-husband. Well, I still have an ex-husband. He's still my ex. But we're very good friends. We're really, really good friends. And when my mum died, she died in the August of 2012. And for Christmas that year, I actually flew out to France. I couldn't handle Christmas in the UK, and my kids understood. I just couldn't handle it. It was just too difficult for me. But when I came back, I was given my Christmas presents, and one of the things that my ex-husband gave me was it was like a voucher to go to this clairvoyant, a really, really good, well-known clairvoyant in our local area. And he said, I want you to use this when you're ready. It might give you some peace. And I was like, yeah. I waited 6 months before I used that voucher to go and see this clairvoyant, because I've heard some amazing things about this person. And I waited 6 months because I just couldn't handle any of that mumbo jumbo stuff. I just couldn't handle it. But one day I went and I paid for a friend of mine to go as well so that she could have it. And it was the most weirdest experience, actually. Now, this person doesn't know me from a bar of soap, and this person told me about my mum and about how she might have passed. Told me quite a few things, actually. But one of the things that this person said to me at the time, because I was inheriting, which was kind of funny, which was really weird, you're thinking about buying a house, don't do it. Now, I was thinking about buying a house at the time. I really was thinking about buying a house. And she said, don't do it. They, spirits, whatever, were saying to tell me not to do it. It is not my time. And I was like, what? Some of the other things that were said, which was really interesting, came up was that the person told me that they knew that I was very musically orientated. I was very creative, and I spent a lot of time on music, which I did at that time. I was spending a lot of time on music, and most of it was due to my mum, actually, because I did do a single that went out on iTunes, and my mum was so excited and so proud that I felt that I had to do more. So I kept doing them, and then I did it for a couple of years. Honestly, nothing that you're ever going to hear in the dance charts or anything, but it's like EDM type music and stuff. Seriously, I can't sing. I do a lot. I can talk, and I can't even play a freaking instrument. Come on, when I joke about Avicii, I mean Avicii. There's a lot of music stems together, that kind of thing. But I seem to know how to put things together, I guess. So I got great enjoyment out of it. But what gave me even more enjoyment was my mum's interest in it. So that's when it kind of started, was because of my mum, and it continued for quite a while. I actually even sang at her funeral. I know. I recorded a track, Tears in Heaven. That was my mum's favourite song, and I sang it. Albeit I sounded like a whining cat, but it brought my brother to tears, probably for the wrong reasons. But yeah, it was done for my mum, and when she was buried, the CD went down with her, because it was my mum's favourite song. So yeah, when this woman said this, I was just like, how did you know that? Because she knew this sort of thing. She knew about the music. She said you did it for someone special. Now, not even my ex-husband knew that. So he couldn't even have fed this information, which was really interesting. And the other thing that she said is that, and this is where I'm getting back to the lottery ticket, she said, you will never, ever be rich. You will never, ever attain to that expectation, basically. I think that's the right way to say it. Attain? No, that's not the right way to say it. But anyway, you know what I mean. That expectation that I've had since I was a young girl, I will never fulfill that expectation. I will always be okay, but I will always find life difficult, which is very true. I've always found financially very difficult. I've never been one to, I mean, people will say, oh, let's go out and do this, let's go out and do that. Well, I can't, because I'm a single earner. I pay, if you live in the southeast of England, it's so expensive, and I'm on a government salary, so they're not great, believe me. Underpaid, overworked. That's us. So I'm not overly paid, and I make ends meet, and so I can't cover the great high life, which I don't lead. So she was very spot on about that. But one of the things she said is, they're saying you must not buy this house. And I was thinking about buying a house. And you know what? In hindsight, I'm so glad I didn't. Because what transpired was actually, I inherited money. I didn't inherit a lot. I didn't inherit as much as we were supposed to get. And the reason for that is to do with one of my siblings. And well, I won't go into that, but he did some really bad things regarding the estate. So it was a bit of a battle to go through my mum's estate and stuff. And the house ended up selling. We ended up, because it was so painful for us, because we had to try and sell it from over here in the UK, because my other brother lives here. And in the end, we just said to the probate people in Australia, do you know what? Put it to auction. So we didn't even sell it for what we could have got for it. We put it to auction because we just needed to settle the estate. And then, of course, you know, fees had to be paid and stuff. Anyhow, I did get a chunk of money, but actually ended up having to live on that money because I couldn't even invest it because I'm a single earner. So actually it made my lifestyle a little bit better for quite a long time. Well, let me see, from 2013 until last year, it gave me more opportunity with my life. But, you know, money comes, money goes. My phone's going. I'm really sorry, you know. And, oh, that's, I'll tell you, it's Cass Crystal. She's liking my comment. I'm just telling you that. Cass, if you're listening, I just said that out to the whole of the YouTube world. Yeah, so it's funny, isn't it? When someone passes away, the bickering that goes on in an estate and all of that kind of thing, I don't wish that on my worst enemy, what a family goes through, because I tell you what, when it comes to money and things, people change. And my one brother, he changed. We don't talk to him now at all. We have nothing to do with him. There's a lot more to this, obviously, that I'm telling you. But then that's private family stuff. But it completely changed the dynamic of my relationship with my brothers. And, you know, there's two of us over here and one in Australia, and that's just how it is now. So yeah, so that she predicted I wouldn't have anything really. But do you know what the interesting thing she said to me was? She said, you're very musical and you will always do something with that, which is true, I do. And she's very creative, blah, 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 which is true. But she said, there's something about you and children. And I'm like, I can't stand kids. And she was like, no, that's not true. And I went, no, I really can't. I like my kids. That's it. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not very maternal. I am maternal, as in I'm a good mother. I'm not saying I'm a bad mother, but I'm not your candy coated mother. I'm certainly not. And I'm like, oh look, it's little Jacob, come here, little button. I'm not like that. Oh, I'm so not like that. You know, I'm just like, okay, now you can take little Jacob away. I'm like that. Because I was brought up very differently. My mum wasn't like it either. So I guess we are the products of our upbringing. My mum and dad weren't pandering to children, so therefore I find that difficult. They were very, you know, come on, you need to swim, now swim. But then my parents were South African, so I don't know if it's got something to do with that. But anyhow, so yeah, when she was saying it, and she said, no, you like children. I went, yeah, okay, I do like children. I just don't want people to know about it, okay? Because if they know about it, then they want to bring the kids round, and I don't want the kids round. I don't want to hoover up after children, and I certainly don't want to have to move my objects. Don't you hate it when you no longer have kids in your life, right? When you've outgrown your children and you can have those ornaments out. Yeah, you know, those glass ones. You can have that glass coffee table. Yeah, you can finally leave the candle burning on the coffee table. Yeah, you can. And then someone comes in with a child and then you've got to just like pick it all up, put it up as high as you can. And then you have to watch those fingers go right up and down your patio doors and you think, Christ. But I have to say, I say that, but every time little Mason comes around, which is my daughter's little one, I know, I'm not old enough, but I am old enough actually. Whenever, and she's old enough, by the way, I've said this before, but she is old enough to have a child. Whenever he comes round, all of that goes out the door. That I am that candy mother when he comes round. He could do no wrong. no wrong at all. And I want to cook with him and I want to talk to him. Only him, mind you, no one else. But anyway, I'm digressing. So what she said to me was, you have an interest in children. And she said, I can see that you are going to be doing something for children. And I was like, no, don't be ridiculous. Well, actually I am. Well, I started my Isabella thing. And I have finally made that decision now about Isabella. Because as you notice, I haven't done a video. And the reason for that is I'm removing Isabella from Isabel Sharon channel. She's leaving this channel because this channel has a lot of adult content on it, because I don't know if you want to go through through my history. Sometimes the things I talk about are not for young people, and you know, my very sexy dances, they're not for 5-year-olds. No, they're not. Even if they're a cartoon character, still not for 5-year-olds. And I don't really want to change that. I don't want to have to censor myself to the point to cater for the 5-year-olds. So, but I still want to do something for those under 5-year-olds. So I have actually created another channel. I'm not going to say where it is or anything else yet, because I'm slowly moving the videos across. And because I'm not monetized anymore, it really doesn't matter now that I move them across. Because I didn't want to move them across before as well, because they actually had monetization on them. And I thought, well, bloody hell, that's stupid then, isn't it? It's affecting all my views and everything. But now it's not. It actually doesn't matter. So I am going to be moving them, and that's going to be a separate channel. And then when it's ready and it, you know, I'll put everything out live, I'll let everyone know where it is. And that's going to be a separate channel, because like she said, I want to do something for children, and I do. And I want to write stories for children. People laugh when I say I want to write. I actually do write. I just can't type. There is a difference. I do write, and I do write a lot about my past and stuff, because believe it or not, I've had a very, very, very interesting life. You know, apart from my last 2 years of high school, I never lived anywhere more than a year, any one place. My parents travelled quite a lot, and I moved around quite a lot growing up, and I had a very interesting life. Let's just say my involvements with different people has been very interesting, and my parents were not your normal parents. There was nothing normal about my parents. Nothing at all. So I do write about that, but I don't share it with anybody. You know, I've been writing about my life for about 2 years now, and the idea is that it will eventually become a book. But for now, it is stuff that I keep to myself, because it's quite emotional writing about it. I don't want to share it with anyone as of yet, but I will, because part of writing is also for my children to understand me as a person and who I am and where their history comes from. And so that's also part of me writing it, because I'm sure as I get older I'm going to go dement. I'm just going to lose my mind. No, I don't think I will lose my mind. I've already lost it. It's already gone. It went the day I joined Second Life. Let's face it. I mean, what adult sits there and joins a virtual world and goes and lives there? Oh, hang on a minute, I did. And so did many of you. Yeah, so that's the whole idea of it. I'm writing. It's also very cathartic to me to do it. It channels some things, you know, that have bothered me over the years. And yeah, so anyhow, I am actually writing some little ideas for children's stories, which is really bizarre that she even knew that. And I only thought about this recently. Someone said to me, maybe she planted the idea in your head, and I was like, maybe she did, I don't know, but it's there. It's there, and it's bizarre that she sort of said that. Yeah, really bizarre. She also told me something about me meeting a German. Yeah, she said about it, I would meet a German. Is that you, Drax? Joking. I'm joking. Apparently, at some stage I'm going to meet a German. I think I've met lots of Germans over the years, so I don't really know what reference that is, but she said that's very key and very significant. I don't know what the significance of that is. All will be revealed. I don't know. Whether whether you believe this stuff or not is another thing. I don't know. See, I've always sat on the fence with this kind of thing, because I don't know where else to sit with it, really, to be honest. It depends what your beliefs are. I've got a very strong Christian belief, and is it strong Christian? Well, I'm part Jewish, so I put it this way, I have a very mixed background. Very mixed background. I don't know, but I do have strong beliefs. They're not necessarily factored on any particular religion or anything, because I have such a mixed background and have had such mixed experiences in my life. Do you know what? When I was about, my parents were going to they were going to exorcise me and excommunicate me or whatever it was. Let me tell you this story. Right? When we were living in South Africa when I was about, how old was I? About 14. We went back to South Africa. We were there for 2 years, right? And I was about 14. And it was very difficult for me because I'd been brought up in Australia. And suddenly my dad decided he wanted to go back to South Africa. And so we were living there. And, you know, you have to be bilingual in South Africa. At that time, you had to be bilingual. I don't know what about now, but you had to be bilingual. And this was at the apartheid time. So the apartheid was still in force there. Now, for me, I couldn't get my head around this apartheid stuff. Seriously, I couldn't, because obviously grown up somewhere else, I had a different view. And I lived in New Zealand for a period of time, and I had a Maori boyfriend. You know, it's like, he's a racist. I just couldn't get my head around it. So I, as a young 14-year-old, I was seriously struggling to kind of find myself. And I was certainly struggling at school for that period of time in the language department, because I was not bilingual. I could understand when people spoke Afrikaans to me. My conversation is not so great. I mean, I can say, Goeiemorgen, hoe gaan dit met jou? That's it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Ek lief vir jou? Ek lief vir jou? That means I love you. Although I probably don't say it very well. Anyhow, yes. Yeah, anyhow. So I was trying to find myself. So I was at a friend's one day, right? And these two guys turned up on her doorstep. Oh, handsome they were. Absolutely handsome. You know, as 14-year-old girls, when you see these two guys, must have been about 19, 20, because you liked boys older then, and their suits, we were like, yeah, come in. This is after school. Her mum was at work, and you know, we invited them. They were Mormons, and Elder Ward and Elder Clark. I'll never forget them. If they're watching this, I remember you guys so well. I've still kept your cards after all these years. Well, anyhow, I had a huge instant crush on Elder Ward. Yeah, I did. So they sat down and talked to us and said, you know, is your mum in? Because they were American. Is your mum in? And all that. And we were like, no, but you can stay. And then they were like really sweet. And then I said, I'd like to see you again. as a girl with a crush would say. And of course they took it, meaning that I wanted to have some lessons. So they made an arrangement, and they used to come on a Tuesday. So I said to my mum and dad, I met these nice religious boys, and they're going to come round and talk. And my mum and dad were like, oh, that's really good, Liz. Because they were really pleased. You know, I was taking more of an active interest in God and all that kind of thing. And so these elders started coming around on Tuesday, and I started seeing them regularly. Then I was invited to go to church, and so I started going to church too. And both my grandparents and my parents were like, oh, that's really good. You know, she's found sort of direction in that. And yeah, it was the day when I said, now I want to be baptised. My dad was like, what? I said, I'm going to be baptised. The funniest thing is, when you're a 14-year-old busty girl, now, this is so funny, my dad was so angry. My parents humoured me, so does my grandparents. So they come to the wasn't called a church. No, it wasn't a tabernacle. What was it? I can't remember what it was called. Anyhow, I used to do a lot of activities. Actually, to be honest, it was the best time in my life. I got involved with so much stuff. But anyhow, my baptismal day came up. My parents were like, good God. And but they were sweet. They came to it, and I had to wear this white gown. Okay, so you stand in this pool. So Elder Ward and Elder Clark are there. And all I'm doing is standing there with a big smile on my face. And all I've got underneath on is a pair of knickers and a bra. And then, of course, then comes the baptism. So what do? One holds you underneath the back arch of your back and then sort of like pushes you backwards into the water. So it's a bit like a wet t-shirt competition. My dad, get dressed now. Because I come out of the water and I was, you know, I've always been a busty girl. So age 14, I had humongous boobies. And it was like the best wet t-shirt competition for all those men in the room. My dad was just like, get dressed now. And then afterwards, my parents didn't tolerate it much longer because I was so involved in, because I just wanted to go and see Elder Ward. I used to go to all the Sunday things going on, and, you know, I used to always go out on the weekends and doing activities. I mean, the activities and everything were wonderful. The only thing was you don't have caffeine. That was a big thing for me. Because around that time I liked tea. I really liked tea, and I couldn't drink tea anymore. Couldn't drink colas of any sort that had caffeine in it and all that. My parents found that really weird because they were like, don't you want a cup of tea, Liz? And I'm like, no. But then my parents decided we were moving back to Australia, and I absolutely had a meltdown. Absolute meltdown, and I cried, and I nearly ran away from home because I didn't want to be away from Elder Ward. He was the most handsome. Oh, he was swarthy. He had dark hair, dark eyes. Oh my God, he was a bit like a Tom Cruise, yeah, but taller. Yeah, way taller. He's probably married now with like 20 children or something. Yeah, he's probably bald now actually. But oh, he was so handsome, so handsome. So yeah, basically we moved to Australia, and I pined. I was terrible for ages over that, and yeah. Oh, memories. Do you know what? I can't remember why I came onto that fact. I've lost myself. I'm just feeling like I'm not losing myself. Yeah, but yeah. So it's basically to do with beliefs. You know. I've gone through different phases in my life where I'm open to anything. I'm one of these people that's open to anything. I have always, my parents brought me up to be this way because they were so open to anything. That, you know what, you can't walk away. You can't turn your back on something without exploring it and understanding it before you can make a decision on it. And so I've always done that, sometimes to my detriment, because I get caught up in things and I don't know how to say no. But I was glad that I was brought up that way because so my mind opens up a bit more. So when it comes to things like clairvoyance and stuff, I mean, I can sit there and I can really take the mickey. Seriously, I can. You know, I really can. But other times I'm like, I want to believe in it. You know, there's part of me that wants to believe in this stuff because I just think, you know, the wonderful thing about life is that you can hope for something. That's something that no one can take away from you, and no one should take away from you. I think every human being goes through life with hope in their heart. There's a song in that, Hope in Their Hearts. I think that was the Beverly Hillbillies. No, it was I've got joy, joy, joy down in my heart. Do you remember that, the Hillbillies, Beverly Hillbillies? Anyhow, but that's the fact of life. Everybody goes through life with some sort of hope, and I like to think that there is hope, no matter what it is. Anyhow, I'm going to stop rambling now because because let me see how many minutes I've been on. Oh, nearly an hour. Jesus Christ. Majority of you have probably fallen off by now, and those that want to listen have stayed. Thank you for staying this long. Anyhow, I hope you all have a great week, and remember, I'm doing that little giveaway, which I'll be doing on the 5th of March, where you put your name in the comments if you're interested, or send me an email because I know some people don't want to do that, and just say that what it is you can either do a coffee with Isa. I said about a live stream. And apparently I do have live streams. If you wanted to do a live stream, I don't really know what we'd live stream about, but but it might be interesting. And or if not, if you don't want to talk, and I understand people don't want to talk because not everyone's comfortable with it, do a video. Yeah, I'll make a dance video or something, or I don't know what kind of video you want. But yeah, I'm up for that if you are. So just put your name in the comments. And like I said, if you don't want to, just throw me an email. Anyhow, have a great week. I know I'm in a jolly good mood, aren't I? It won't last, I'm sure. Probably by next Monday I'll be really dire and miserable. Actually, no, next week I'm on another week of health and safety course. So I will probably be telling you the week after all about all the men. Yeah, there's always all these men on these courses. The miners and all that. I'll be back for another week with them. Can't wait. Anyhow, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.